Well, howdy there, and welcome to What's Y'all This Then? It's a podcast about the UK, but all this month we're talking about Britain's favorite things from across the pond in the US of A, where the refills are free and the healthcare ain't. Brits may think us Americans are stupid, loud, ignorant, and obsessed with our trucks, but they sure do like our TV and movies. Speaking of which, today we have a perfectly cromulent topic for a podcast about Britain, and I'm sure nothing can possibly go wrong when we're switching up the format of the show for a whole month. No, sir, you won't need to open up your big book of British smiles to see these two girls grinning like we just drank some all-syrup super squishies. So if you're confused, try this. When I say, "What's y'all this then?" and press down on your foot, you smile and nod. That's right, you guessed it, we're talking Family Guy. Just kidding, it's The Simpsons. I'm famous American Libby Watson, and I'm joined by my freaking awesome co-host, Charlotte McDonald. Hi, Charlotte.
Hooey, Libby, great job on your first intro. Well, looky
Well,
there.
thank you so much. I will not be doing that again. That voice is now gone for the rest of America Month.
No,
it's done.
But we
done.
already went through the fact that we were going to have like American personas, right, with American names.
Sure.
And I was going to be Charlene.
And I'm Liza Bay.
See, I got you to do it again.
That's true. Okay, you did trick me. Yeah, you did get me. It's America Month, Charlotte.
It's America Month. Yay. We don't have to talk about that stupid little island that we came from for a whole month.
We're still going to be talking about it.
Yeah, we're still going to
quite a lot,
talk about it, right? Because
this is what the podcast
we are
is.
talking about American things, but things that are from America that were still important to people in the UK. So don't worry, everybody. It's still going to be a little bit British.
Yeah, no, I'm sure a lot of people have already driven their cars off the freeway when they heard me instead of you talking at the start, and then also doing the terrible voice. But yeah, it's going to be fun, isn't it, Charlotte? We're going to have so much fun talking about American stuff.
Yes, and I'm very excited. We've got a really wonderful guest for our first episode of America Month. Best known as a writer for a little show known as The Simpsons, which he also co-ran during its 7th and 8th seasons. Notably also wrote the infamous steamed ham scene, which is appropriate given his current work in the world of food. Welcome to the show, Bill Oakley. How you doing?
Hey, thank you. I was going to try to do a Southern accent, but I think I'm going to avoid that. It's the same pitfall that you guys both experienced. So yes, thank you. I'm going to use my regular kind of mid-Atlantic accent for this.
Yeah, I was thinking it would have been nice if I had acted on the impulse that I had years ago to maybe like get some accent coaching and learn an American accent just so I could blend in and not have people ask me about it when I don't want to talk about it.
I thought it was good, honestly, Libby.
Thanks.
It was pretty good. There were only a few times when it really became where you kind of went down the wrong road. But most of the time, it was actually pretty decent.
No, let's start by digging into everything Libby has done wrong so far. If that
sounds good. No, it's true. Every vowel in a different accent is, two roads diverging in a yellow wood, and I often pick the wrong one. It's tough, but yeah, I don't generally bust out the American accent. Our friend Tom Walker. He just talked about this on Doughboys, actually. But when our Australian friend Tom Walker was in town recently, we went to Outback Steakhouse because he was doing that on Doughboys, and he decided to do an American accent while he was there because he was too embarrassed to be an Australian at Outback Steakhouse. And I just think that's wonderful.
What did he go for?
And I really... Oh, just a sort of broad, hi, I'm a British actor doing an American accent kind of thing.
Yes. Well, I mean, I do love doing the American accent, and it is one of the few ones that I'm like, well, it's okay to make fun of.
This one's okay to do.
This one's okay to do
yeah.
for sure. But I do tend to default to the extremely southern one, and then occasionally people tell me it's offensive. So should I stop doing that?
Nah, it's fine.
No, it's fine.
Yeah, I think that one's all right to do. And the other ones are kind of hard. I think Valley Girl can be kind of accessible to us, but I think it's really mostly based on what we heard most on the TV. So like the idea of a British person attempting like a Minnesota accent is really
Yeah.
That would be a rare one, I think, except for what's his name, Tim from The Office in Fargo, Martin Freeman.
Yeah.
He did all right, didn't he?
Yeah, no, I mean, I do always, I feel like I'm hyper aware, honestly. I wanted to say, yeah, they do good jobs, but I do feel like I'm hyper aware when we're looking at a British person and doing the American accent, and I'm like, yeah, you're going for that completely right in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
like
really, yeah, like you said, British person just trying to blend in. But
let me do my impression of a British person doing an American accent.
Okay,
yes,
good.
please.
Hi there, I'm an American. I'd like to have an American. I need a giant pillow for my big American head. There you go.
Okay, yes, that is it. The one that our friend Demi does is she always talks about her credit card. I'm using my credit card.
My credit card. Yes, I can do that. Fill up my big motor home.
Yes, exactly. Yes, I'm using my credit card to fill up my truck at the department store.
I love this because one of my favorite accents to do is American doing a British accent.
Oh yeah, hello. They do that.
What's all this then? Yep, mate.
Yes, exactly.
There you go.
I don't know what a credit card is. I only use debit.
Yeah. Oh, I thought you were gonna go. Oh, I just use farthings and shillings, of course. I've found in my time in the US that it's not just that they do the accent; they do a sort of little like Dick Van Dyke dance at you.
Yes,
you know?
it all comes from that. Bart Simpsons. Yes. Bart would do that occasionally, as you know, when he'd go like a bit of all right, governor, or whatever. He'd do those things. It's all from that, like the old, Mary Poppins era type, the street urchin type thing, and Christmas Carol.
Yes, of course. Right. That makes sense. I'm gonna resist the urge that I am gonna have throughout this show to just spit out quotes as they come to my mind. I'm just taking that, I'm noticing it, and I'm putting it to one side.
No, what we're going to do, Bill, is when we get to the Simpsons section of the podcast, is we're just going to read our favorite jokes from the Simpsons to you.
I've been on quite a few podcasts like
that happens.
Yes.
Okay. So it must be a burden.
Well, usually what we do at this point is we ask our guests about their relationship with the UK. This is America Month. Are we still doing that?
No, let's do that.
Okay, we should still do that. But I
am going to go on for a long time about this. I just got back from London like a month ago, and furthermore, my grandfather's from England as well. So I could go on and on and on. It just depends on what you want to talk about and how much time you want to devote to it.
Oh my gosh, so many things I want to ask. Well, I do always like to know specifically, especially with you, what your relationship with British food is like, and secondarily, did you have any good food while you were in London?
I had nothing but great food because I didn't go to any place that I chose. I had people give me a big list on Instagram. I said, where should I go in London? And I got like 50 suggestions, and I kind of ranked them by how many votes each one got, and I tried to go to those. So I had nothing but fantastic food in London, and a lot of the obvious ones like Dishoom, I had, which was
so
amazing.
So good.
That was great. But honestly, my favorite thing of all was Hawksmoor, and I went there twice. And they had a number of different dishes that I thought were spectacular. I also had fish and chips at, what is it called, Golden Union, something like that. I had tons of great food and no bad food. And I also, as is my wont, went to the grocery store and bought a huge suitcase full of stuff to bring back to America as well. And also, by the way, okay, the other thing I discovered that was magnificent was what is it called? What's that stuff? I can't believe I've suddenly forgotten it. I have to look it up. The burrito that at the Camden Market.
A burrito?
Yeah. Let me look
a burrito.
Because I would have to say,
No.
It tends to not be very good for Mexican food.
No, but it wasn't Mexican. That's the whole point. Hold on, I'm going to look it up because it's so important that I tell you this.
Yes.
I'm going to look it up right now.
It wasn't the Yorkshire burrito.
Yes, that's what it was.
Oh
like
my
a
God.
Yorkshire pudding as the wrap.
Yes. Have you had that?
No, I have not.
No,
Okay.
I just googled Camden burrito and it came up.
Yes, there's a stand in the Camden Market called Yorkshire Burrito. And it's only a burrito in that it's wrapped up. Basically, it's like a Yorkshire. What is it? You call it Yorkshire pudding?
Yeah,
It's a like a kind of a stew, in these in like a bread, a Yorkshire pudding kind of puff pastry thing, and then they roll it up like a burrito. And I have to say it was excellent. I can't believe this hasn't been introduced into the U.S. because it's basically like kind of a whole Thanksgiving dinner type thing in a burrito form that you can roll up. So that was the other thing that I had that I truly loved was the Yorkshire burrito.
Yeah, that is interesting because I think my understanding is that Yorkshire puddings are very similar to American popovers.
Yeah.
And yeah, it doesn't have like the cultural cachet that I think Yorkshire puddings have. In like a popover is an afterthought, I would say, but people are really crazy about Yorkshires, and rightly so because they're bloody good. I'm looking at this picture, and I want to eat it for sure.
I mean, it does sound really, really good. I fucking love.
They got a couple different varieties. They have a chicken one, they have a beef one, and I think they had a vegan one. But like that was like it's doesn't really taste that much different. But the fact that you can wrap it up and walk around while you're eating it is a true innovation.
Yeah, that's really, really good.
Yeah, I mean, that's where the burrito is so fun.
Oh,
isn't it?
indeed.
The portable food.
Is it not? Okay,
yeah.
Bill, I have to ask, did you have the sticky toffee pudding when you went to Hawksmoor? Because this is actually...
Yes, I did.
Okay.
And I loved it.
Yes, this is so good because Libby recently went to the UK and we did a whole bonus episode where I went through things that she should do while she was there, and one of them was eat the sticky toffee pudding at the Hawksmoor, which I have never had before, but there's a guy on Instagram that we both like who's the sticky toffee pudding guy. Have you seen him at all? He just reviews sticky toffee puddings.
Oh, he's the best.
He's so
He's called STP Reviews, and they're really funny, but also, I think he truly does understand the sticky toffee pudding. Anyway, I didn't make it to the Hawksmoor while I was there, so I'm pretty devastated to hear that it really is good.
And not just that, everything I had there was really terrific. It went right up my culinary alley. The food at Hawksmoor was, but again, I didn't have anything that wasn't delicious because I was very careful about where I went.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I know it's great when you have the local guide. In fact, actually, a few years ago, Bill very kindly sent me his local guide to stuff in Portland because I was going to Portland, and I used it and had a weekend that I would describe as sort of somewhere between debaucherous and hedonistic. I ate so much food and drank so much beer that weekend. I went absolutely crazy. I can't recommend Portland enough to anyone who likes eating food.
For sure. It's many people, and not just me, think it is the best food city in America. And it because there's such a wide variety of food, and the bar to entry is very low because of the food cart scene here. There's probably at least 1,000 food carts with all sorts of exotic cuisines that they wouldn't be able to support a restaurant, but they can support a food cart. So I'm enamored of our food scene here for sure.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Have you ever found any British food in Portland?
No, that's a good question. No. I don't think there is any British food, despite the fact that we have food from all over. We have food from Tibet, and food from Myanmar, and all this other stuff that you could just walk down the street and get. I don't believe there's any place here serving British food.
No fish and
chips.
Strange. That place went out of business. There was a great fish and chips place, but it went out of business, unfortunately.
Yeah, fish and chips is a sort of preoccupation of mine because I've found it's very, very rare to get sort of really good fish and chips in the US. And if they are good, they tend to be good in a different way than the British the British variety, which I think the secret to British fish and chips is that they are just one of the unhealthiest things you can eat. Like to get that level of crunch on the batter, it basically has to take about 6 months off your life. But it is really good. Yeah, it's funny because what I was thinking about Outback when we were at Outback. I was like, it's funny. There's this whole place themed around Australian food, which doesn't, it's themed around Australia, not Australian food, really. But there's no British chain restaurant in America, Charlotte. What if we try and do it?
Okay.
What you want to do it?
I mean, pretty much. Like, I do feel like most of the time when I'm having British food in America, it is not good. So we'd have to work.
It's a novelty.
We'd have to work through that. I mean, I feel like a name would be very important to get right, to sort of prove to people that the British food that we have would be actually good.
Okay, what about not shit British food? It's just an idea.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, it's there's not a lot of good stuff. I mean, there are a couple of good British food places in LA, but it's maybe not the cuisine of choice.
Well, there's that one
every
place,
other cuisine.
There's that one place you went to. They did have like a really good sausage roll, right? But it was also extremely expensive.
Well, right, because that place is called Wilds in Los Feliz, and it is, I would say, primarily a posh restaurant and secondarily a British food restaurant. So yeah, it's good, but $14 for a sausage roll? Are you fucking kidding? $14? It's a bit steep.
That's 4
isn't it?
meal deals. That is
4 meal deals, exactly. Yeah. Okay, so Bill, you said you went to the grocery store. I would love to know which grocery stores in the UK you went to. And do you like them? Because we have a whole supermarkets thing on this show.
Yes, I do like them. I went to several different ones that were just near God, I'm forgetting everything now. That were nearby where I was staying, and they had a good selection. Like they had a pretty good selection of snack food. I wasn't buying anything like frozen food, although I wanted to try some of that strange frozen food and those strange pizzas from Chicago Town.
Chicago Town, okay. I was like, he couldn't possibly be about to say Chicago Town too, but he was. Every
time I see those online, I'm like, that's so weird because nobody calls it Chicago Town. It's just like saying, I'm from Los Angeles City. It just sounds so fake. Nobody would ever say I'm from Los Angeles City. But Chicago Town is the same thing, and I see those online, and it makes me laugh. Also because they're kind of pseudo-Chicago-y pizzas, but it's like they only have the name. Anyway, I didn't get those because I didn't have the opportunity to cook stuff where I was staying. Sure. But I did get a ton of snack foods, and I got a whole bunch of chip. Like, there's a lot of great Walker's. I got the Walker's Worcestershire sauce flavored chips.
Nice.
Lee and Perrin's Worcestershire sauce. Those were excellent. Mm-hmm. I got Coleman's mustard flavored nuts. They had like a bag of like kind of mixed nuts that were peanuts and cashews flavored with Coleman's mustard powder, which was those two were the best things I had the entire trip.
God damn.
Coleman's mustard is like I don't even think I've ever had it, but that's like the extremely spicy one, right?
Yes, I love that mustard. In fact, it's hard to. I mean, you can find it here in fancier grocery stores, but it's like $11 a jar. Yeah. But it is so good, and I put it on on a grilled cheese. Make a ham and cheese sandwich with that stuff on it. Magnificent. That's my favorite sandwich.
Yeah, that's. I think of that as the dad's mustard of choice for sure. It's very. Very
it's
intense.
Very strong. It's like Chinese. It's like the Chinese hot mustard you get with your egg rolls or whatever, but even stronger sometimes.
Yeah. I do have to say,
I don't remember what the name of the grocery store was, but there was only one choice, and it was near where I was staying.
Probably a Tesco is what I'm guessing.
I think it was Tesco. Yes,
it
was like a mini Tesco. And they have a variety of different sizes of Tesco. Like there's a mini Tesco, and then there's like a kind of a medium-sized Tesco. There were a lot of drunk people in there too. And like, there was a lady. There was a lady who was wearing a party hat and drinking a martini who shit her pants in line at the grocery store and was talking about it loudly and kind of laughing, and then finally decided it was time to get out of line and leave. And that was that was my experience in Tesco.
Okay, can I say how I imagine she said it?
Please.
How I imagine she announced it to the Tesco. Oh no, I've just shit myself. Something like that.
But she kind of thought it was funny. So she was a little, it wasn't so sad.
Right, I see. Okay, I do understand. Charlotte, I don't think I told you the story of so I actually was in London last week as well. And Lou and I were walking down the street. It was the first day that we were there. We're walking down the street near St. Paul's, and I just felt this arm on my shoulders, and I was like, and I realized how American I am because I immediately reacted like I was being killed, like somebody was about to murder me, and it was just this drunk girl who was like, "Hello, all right." This was 3 p.m. on a Sunday, by the way, and she was just like, "All right, I just want to get a bit of leanage here. How are you guys doing? Are you all right? Oh, are you from America? Oh my God, you're from America." Anyway.
I just shat myself in a Tesco.
Honestly, could have been her. It was quite an interesting experience. I became more British by the time, by the time we parted ways, and I was more relaxed. But I realized how unusual an experience I found that. Maybe it's not a cultural thing. Maybe that's not normal in the UK. And
I would say in London especially as well. I'm used to nobody looking me in the eye and people being as grumpy and to themselves as possible. But I
decided she was great in the end.
Okay.
I think she's good. But you're right that the being drunk in public culture, but also the drinking in public culture is very different there, because you can drink on the street basically everywhere.
Yeah. It was a fun time.
Yeah, it's definitely it's a party atmosphere. One thing I also noticed while I was there was the level of public male shirtlessness, which I don't think is something that you see in America almost at all. But
you see it in the South all the time. It's more in the beach communities, though, right? You don't just see people walking around
in the middle of London,
Minnesota, like that. I mean, if they're mowing their lawn or something, you might, but you don't see it like on the street. You'll see it on the street in Florida for sure, and maybe like New Orleans and stuff.
Yeah. The sort of more festive atmosphere, perhaps.
I think if it's simply hot enough, or you just have you've had the 1 or 2 hot days of the year, you know, in the UK, and you're like, well, I have to make the most of this. I'm not next to the beach, but I've just got to take the t-shirt off and just let the world see, get my tan on, you know.
First day that it's above like 74 degrees, every bloke gets his shirt off and goes and just lies sort of spread eagle in the park, and. It's sort of charming, but no, we saw a bloke in the middle of Richmond driving his car with his shirt off. He had like a vintage car, and he was just driving around with his shirt off. And I was like, well, that's nice. He's probably having a nice time. So
that is nice.
Yeah, we're an odd people, aren't we?
And that's sort of the whole concept of the podcast. Although I do feel like we should talk a little bit about America before we get into the thought. Okay, now you're looking really sad. Like this America Month wasn't your idea, Libby. Okay, I guess we'll talk a little bit about, because I just have to throw it out there because we haven't really talked about, I don't know, America this broadly before. Bill, what's the best American food?
The best American
I can tell you what mine is. I wouldn't necessarily say everyone's going to agree with this, but for me, it is pulled pork barbecue, North Carolina pulled pork barbecue, followed by the second place being Chicago style hot dogs. Those are my 2 favorite foods. I mean, like I don't know that everybody else would agree.
Hot dogs, you mean? Of course.
Yeah, right. I think that other people would probably say, it would probably it would be hot dogs, pizza, things like that are fairly standard, or Texas style barbecue, which is not, I don't like it as much as North Carolina barbecue.
Interesting.
But cheeseburgers probably that's the archetypal American food. And I think everybody around the world agrees that they're pretty awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say so. I saw a lot of smash burgers around London. The smash burger craze.
I noticed that.
Reached London for sure. Yeah. One of the reasons I live in America, I would say, is the food. It was definitely part of my sort of journey, my experience of being charmed by this country that I perhaps now regret being charmed by to some degree. But
we'll come back around. Don't worry about it. You know what? We're going through a bad patch right now, but we'll get over it. It happens. It happens every so often.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, I remember going to. Actually, it is embarrassing. My first meal in the United States was at a Johnny Rockets.
Johnny Rockets is okay.
Yeah,
it's not the best, but it's pretty good.
But of course, my experience was, oh my God, this place is amazing, and you can fill up your soda for free. Oh my God, unbelievable! And just many sort of cascading experiences like that, where I think the restaurant
was it
culture,
in the airport.
No, it was in DC. It was near the White House, actually.
Oh, okay. Some of those Johnny Rockets, at least if this was a long time ago, Johnny Rockets is not as great as it once was. But back in the day, when they were new, they were super cool, and the food was good.
Yeah. I think I found the sort of like 50s thing kind of charming or whatever.
Yeah, that's nice. I always remember, I think Pat, our producer, told the story about when he went to New York, that was one of the places he ate at, thinking that he was getting some authentic Canadian food. I might be misremembering this. This could also be like Australia. I don't know. I personally have never had Johnny Rockets.
Well, do you remember when we went on Doughboys and Amelia told the story about going to Paris and getting a croissant from Pret and thinking, this isn't that good? I really adore that. It happens, It
does indeed happen. All right. It's time, I think, for something new. this is typically when we would do our British Thought of the Week, but it's America Month, so it's time to do something different.
Iced tea's nice. What happened to Geraldo? Big soda. Bloody tornado again. How do they make corn dogs? Did they finish Reconstruction or what?
Merican Thought of the Week.
That's right, Libby.
No. I really regret us having Bill on first for this.
Worth watching the video
I
of
love
this
it.
one. Everybody go to the YouTube just so you can see Libby's embarrassment. It is a sight to behold today.
Well, I think it's funny. Also, we have other types of music in this country besides country music too, which I think is funny because it's like the country music and the southern stuff is probably, I guess, people overseas consider to be the most American. And like if you had a Minnesota or Boston or California accent or music, it wouldn't play as American necessarily. The country thing is distinct to America. I guess you don't have country music. No other nation has country music, and no other nation has an accent that is like that. So I understand why you chose it, but it is funny because that's only maybe like an eighth of America or less in terms of like in terms of its popularity.
Yeah, it really is. And thank you to Brendan James also for doing that theme for us.
Yeah, that's good.
We love it.
All right, so today's American Thought of the Week is, of course, where the hell is my husband? Louis! I don't know. That's the name of Libby's husband.
That's my husband's name.
I don't have a husband.
So it's not your husband, by the way. That's mine. You can't borrow him.
No, we are talking today about husband calling. Bill, have you heard about the competitive art of husband calling?
No, never.
Okay, so this is
Wow, what a
something. There's a video of it that was shot in 2017 at the Iowa State Fair that went very viral like a couple of years ago. And for British Thought, we tend to do sort of like, I don't know, weird regional games and things from the UK, and this one sort of felt like the spiritual equivalent.
Absolutely.
But I'm gonna show you. I edited sort of like a cut down version of the 2017 husband calling, which it's a very small element of the Iowa State Fair. And it does happen at other state fairs around the US as well, but this is sort of like the best known. And essentially it is just women calling for their husbands and who does it the best. So let's take a little look at this.
Modern messaging methods like texting and emailing can never compare to good old-fashioned yelling at the husband calling contest.
Bob! Hurry up! I don't want to be late. I don't want to be late to the great Iowa State Fair. Bob, hurry! Bob! Robert! Dean! That's it. I'm going by myself.
I have been here.
Oh my God, look at her.
I do want to just pause here real quick. Libby, can you say this woman's name?
Bonnie Swalwell Eilert.
I was wondering because I was like, I couldn't say this name without going into an American accent.
Oh, well, I just did it
So
effortlessly, like
you're
it was
doing better
nothing
than me.
to me. Yeah.
But yeah, no, she's lovely. She does indeed have a little flower on her head.
Hey, she looks wonderful.
Yes, let's hear more from Bonnie.
5 to 40 years at Pioneer Hall.
Yoo-hoo! Keith!
Did you say Keith?
I think so.
Keith?
The clock says time. Roy?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh my God.
It's an audio medium.
You get yourself in here right now. Come on. You know you're going to be late again, and you know that I want to get there on time. Roy! Roy!
It sort of feels
When I
like
Go ahead.
first started,
it sort of feels like the competition was set up by this woman because she knows she's good at it. And so she's sort of like, oh, why don't we all do husband calling? Oh, I guess I'll go up there and do mine.
Yeah, I mean, I do think that
the
the difference between her and the other contestants is a little stark, and you do look at her and think, well, clearly she's going to win this.
She's got
Bonnie's
the look
got it
too.
again. I want to talk a little bit
Yeah.
about Bonnie specifically, actually, but let's play this video out.
My husband said to me, "You're not going to do that, Bonnie. You're not. Oh, please don't do it." I said, "I'm going to do it." I defied him and I won first.
Yes, girl, yes.
So after that, he's gun-hole for me.
8:23.
And she does indeed win.
Yay, well done, Bonnie.
Bonnie did indeed take it that year.
Fantastic.
How would you guys rank the husband calling of the contestants there?
Oh, look, I mean, it is hard to say. I think the places were appropriate. The first person we heard said they were in 5th, and I think she did fine, but it's really Bonnie all the way, isn't it?
I would say the first one, to me, I was like kind of pandering a little bit to the people of the Iowa State Fair. I don't know if you guys felt that.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yes, this is a stunt. I don't think there's any objective standard to husband calling.
This is a farce.
Yes, I don't think this. I think you're right that was probably set up so that winner could show off.
Yeah,
right? It's
yeah,
like
exactly,
I don't believe that this is a thing where there is an objective standard like there would be in a pie baking contest. Where you can judge it. It's also because nobody else. What's a good husband call? Maybe a better husband call is one that's calm and quiet and not so grating.
Yeah.
You get your husband to come without being upset. So like, that's I'm just spitballing.
My sensory husband. Yeah, no, you're right. It is ridiculous. I think that for me, the most similar thing that we've covered on British Thought of the Week is wife carrying.
Right. Yes.
Which is I don't want to say sport, a game that they play. Can you remember where it is, Charlotte, in the UK? It's some fucking
I can't
stupid
remember.
village, isn't it? It's some village where every year they have a wife carrying contest where the husbands carry their wives around a sort of obstacle course.
Yes.
And it is funny because the website says, oh, and they also do this in Finland, but it is absolutely originally Finnish, which is really great.
Yeah, and it does seem as though, unlike wife carrying, which I do feel like they were trying to make it less obviously gendered, sort of in the later incarnations of wife carrying.
Yeah.
They do specify that it is the lady's husband calling.
I see.
And they do not have a men's husband calling category.
No. No. Let alone a they them husband
yes,
calling.
no, exactly. I think, the question of what exactly are they judging is an interesting one, because I did also watch, as part of the original video, there was a little bit of an interview with one of the judges who said that they have to judge based on first impression, last impression, and presentation. Which
last impression.
Yes, which does feel like, it's so generic that she also seemed confused about what she should be looking for when she was judging.
Yes.
Now, Bonnie in particular is an interesting one because, like she said in the video, she has been going for she had been going for 35 years at that point, and this was 10 years ago. Right. So the only way I could find out about how long they've been doing husband calling at the Iowa State Fair is based on how long she said she has been doing it.
I've been winning it. Yes.
Yeah, but not always winning. She did
okay.
specify that. I mean, the other thing that happens is the judges do face away from the callers too. I guess I don't
to simulate being a husband.
Right. They simulate being a husband away in the distance. Right, sort of the general idea being that the husband is out working on the farm and needs to be called in for dinner or what have you. That seems to be the origin that they go with. Although I've also seen it said that it could be that the husband calling category is a parody of the hog calling category.
That's what it is.
Yeah,
it even has the same rhythms when you go suey and that kind of stuff. Those the hog calling is still a thing in some of those state fairs.
Yes.
I'm sad that sorry, I just went to the LA County Fair a few weeks ago because I entered the baking contest, and they did have a lot of farm animals and stuff, but I didn't see anyone calling them. I just saw a lot of people sort of standing around going, "There's a cow," and there's just a lot of goats here, aren't there? I would love to see. I think they sometimes do like pig races and stuff at the LA County Fair. I have a memory of that happening when I was a student here, but that might have been some sort of cruel joke that I was making at the expense of America. But the hog calling makes sense, and it's sort of a bit mean to the husbands, isn't it, to say they're like a hog?
Yes, no,
yes, that's also
so
probably
rude.
one of the things that appeals to a crowd about it. Yes,
yes, the making fun of the husband contest.
Right.
Yeah, so they also they have so many of these like husband calling is really the one that went viral, but they have so many of these calling categories. They have mum calling, right? That is kids who get to call for mum. Or mom, as they would say in America. Yeah. And then as well as hog, they also have turkey, duck, rooster, and chicken calling as well.
I'm realizing I don't know a lot about agriculture because I don't know whether it's possible for a chicken to respond to being called.
Yeah, no, I sort of would imagine that it really is just, maybe similar to how we sort of think it might have gone down with Bonnie, where someone is just like, I could just do a really good rooster.
Yes.
Any chance I could compete since I'm good at this. To go back for Bonnie for a second. So she did, like I said, she competed for over 40 years in the husband calling. She's calling for her husband Roy, who at this point I believe had passed away. So it's nice that she was sort of continuing to call for Roy. And then she competed for the last time in 2024. She died last year at the age of 96. And kept on competing in husband calling all through that period.
Wow.
And I personally do feel like something has been lost now that Bonnie is out. I really don't want to set you guys up to not be fans of the current sort of leader of the husband calling world. But I personally have some opinions about where husband calling is going and the sanctity of husband calling.
Yes.
So for the last 2 years in a row, the winner of husband calling has been this woman called Wendy Bryce. And she's really putting her own stink on husband calling. So let's have a little bit of a look at this.
I think it's just fun. It's like so much fun. I know people from like other states are like, "What is this?" And I was like, "What do you mean? What is this? It's just."
I'm gonna pause here real quick. Can you guys describe, Libby? Do you want to describe the t-shirts here?
Yeah, so she's wearing a t-shirt that says the husband calling contest and Iowa State Fair. I assume that says tradition. All fine. But she's also put her husband in a vest that says I'm the husband. Although I do kind of want to get one of those for Lewis now.
And you don't have just have him wear it. That's her husband Risty. So let's hear her call for him.
Entertaining. It's just a good time, and it's literally just really cool to see what everybody comes up with.
Risty,
Nope,
darling,
no, stop.
Calling, it's your wife. It's time to come in the house for dinner. So stop, collaborate, and listen. It's your wife, and she needs your attention.
You have to stop the video now. Or I'm gonna go insane. I hate that. I hate it. I hate it so much. It's so clearly designed to try and go viral on TikTok or imitate something off TikTok. It's got TikTok all over it, hasn't it?
Libby's an old person. It's got TikTok written all over it, hasn't it?
And it's fine to be old and to be mad about stuff. I really don't like that.
You don't want to watch the rest of this?
Look, you can do whatever you want. You hold the keys to this video.
Let's just have a little bit. Let's just see how much more Libby can stand.
Okay.
Everyone out of the stable, 'cause it's time to come in. It's time to come in. It's time to come in for dinner. I'm making steak and potatoes and biscuits.
so mad at you.
You mad at me?
I'm mad at you.
Yeah, I mean, I think you know what. It's a lot of fun for the crowd there. Does not appeal to me either, Lydia. I would not seek that out. But I think it's
so nice.
A lovely diplomatic response.
It's something that would probably be a lot more fun if you had about 5 or 6 beers, and then you could go sit down in that auditorium and watch them do that. But it's kind of like an open mic, basically. It's not like there's no legitimate way to judge that. It's just everybody get up there and do your silliest stuff.
Yeah, it's the sort of thing that I think would make me feel alienated and anxious. Just like everybody else seems to be enjoying this. What's wrong with me? I think
you've got to have some beers. That's the solution to this.
Right.
I mean, seriously, that kind of stuff is a lot more fun when you've had about 4 beers at least.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I'm sure that is I'm sure that's happening at the Iowa State Fair for sure. I just feel she's not upholding Bonnie's legacy. You know, I feel
the format has the format has to evolve.
That's true.
You know, it can't stay stagnant in the 1950s and 60s way that they were doing it.
But yeah, we can't be Bonnie forever, can we?
Right, but it is part of the heritage contest section of rural Americana old time competitions. Time spelled with a Y.
That's right. Cheap fun.
Yes, it's true. That is free. Here's my pitch for how they can improve the husband calling contest. That it shouldn't, instead of being a simulated husband call, it should be a real husband call, and they release the husband somewhere.
That's a good idea.
And whoever gets their husband back fastest, I would say.
Okay.
Wins.
And husbands
I think that's
are dumb.
a legitimate way.
They would forget the situation that's happening as well, obviously.
Well, you give them 6 or 7 beers, and I think that makes it easier. Yeah. Well, I hated that.
Well, listen, if husband calling is to continue, as it seems to be, Wendy Bryce is carrying the torch. She has won the last 2 years in a row. She is the one to beat. I do have to wonder if there is a way for someone to come in to the world of husband calling and do it. Why am I the old one here as well? I want more traditional husband calling, you know. I want to hear the name of a husband said loud that would bring a husband forth, you know.
That would bring a husband forth. Yes,
you're
so right, Charlotte. You are so right. Get back to basics with the husband call.
Exactly. The final thing is that I guess I hope, at least if nothing else, that Wendy Bryce did appreciate the $5 that she got. Or
you win $5?
If you win the husband calling contest, you get $5 and a blue ribbon. Now that is one aspect of this that I do honestly quite like.
That is nice.
Yes.
I said it was cheap fun, didn't I?
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Cheap, non-lucrative fun. I'm supposed to get a ribbon for my 3rd place hot cross buns, and I haven't gotten it yet, and I'm worried that I'm not going to get my ribbon.
No.
And if I don't get my ribbon, I'm gonna freak out.
I need you to get your ribbon.
Karen. I must have my ribbon. I have to make my own ribbon, I think.
That's very impressive. You have. I'm sure this was covered on a previous episode, so not too. I don't want to derail us too much. You won the 3rd place with hot cross buns at the LA County Fair. That's great.
Hey, thank you.
The competition was very stiff, I bet.
I hope so. The category was rolls other. So I don't know how many people enter rolls other, but I did go quite hard on it. I did recipe testing. I made my own candied orange peel and stuff like that.
Well, there's a lot of people in LA County. I mean, you know, it's not. This is not a small thing to win at the LA County Fair. Congratulations.
It's probably bigger in terms of population than the Iowa State Fair, I have to imagine.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. I'm definitely I got hooked and will be entering every year now until I leave LA or die, whichever is sooner. I think next year I'm going to enter like 5 times as many categories.
Oh, yeah?
I will be entering a lot.
Smart.
Yeah, because I noticed there were quite a lot of people that won multiple categories, and they were, you know, obviously the sort of heavy hitters of the LA County Fair. But I was inspired by our former guest Eva Anderson, who actually won that category in the past.
Wow.
Yes. I think she said it was some garlic rolls, garlic butter rolls or something.
I was talking to Eva recently. She said she was going to do hot cross buns in the rolls other category next year. Anything to say about that, Libby?
Did she really?
No.
No, she didn't.
Wouldn't that be a fun little story for you guys to experience? Before we round off and start talking about our main topic, either of you want to just bust out a husband call?
I could do this if only because Lewis is normally here while I record, but he's not here. This is the rare occasion where I'm recording the podcast and he can't hear everything I'm saying. So I'll give it a go.
Here we go.
Lewis, tea's ready. Lewis, tea's ready. I'm going for realistic. I'm going for true to life. That's what it's not.
I do think that I like hearing you be like, I'm sort of like slightly in pain and I need help. I think that is a good way to bring a husband forth, is it not?
Yeah, it sounded like you'd fallen over and couldn't get up and you needed help. That will bring the husband running, yeah.
It is true that I would say 90% of the time it's not me saying tea's ready. It's Lewis, can I have a cup of tea, please?
That is where I thought you were going.
Yeah.
Charlotte just made me watch a really bad video. I need to watch a cup of tea.
Bill, do you think you have a husband call in you?
I don't really need to call a husband, you know. I got that base covered. I call my children and tell them their chicken nuggets are ready, for example, and that just involves a shout that will absolutely break this microphone.
We don't want to do that.
But that's how I summon family members.
Oh man, yeah. Luckily, this place is small enough that, as I said, I barely have to raise my voice above a whisper, and Lewis can hear everything. The walls are made of paper here.
If anyone was in the hallway while I shouted for Lewis, they would have heard it, but no one knocked on my door, so I think I'm fine.
Hello, I'm Lewis. You called?
My new husband, at last.
Yes. Exactly.
All right. Well, that was American Thought of the Week, everybody. And if you happen to have an American Thought, or indeed a British one for us to do on a future episode, do send us a little letter in the post. The address, of course, is whatsallthispost@gmail.com. All right. Well, it's time to talk about our main topic, which is The Simpsons. Bill, you know anything about The Simpsons?
I'm familiar with it. It's that one with the talking dog, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And he's so rude.
Yeah.
No. So we wanted to talk about, as we said, America Month is all about American things that British people really love, and I don't know if there is a American thing that British people love more than The Simpsons.
Yeah, I'm trying to rack my brain for what that could even be currently.
Certainly not TV and movies. Maybe there's a food we love as much as The Simpsons, but The Simpsons was so enormous for us growing up. I think probably just as much as it was for American kids, to be honest. We all remember watching it on
Sky, right?
It was on Sky, but it was also on Channel 4 and the BBC. At some point, it left the BBC and went to Channel 4, or vice versa. I don't remember which it was. But
one of those, did those cost money?
So Sky was a digital service, or a satellite. Or
Sky
whatever.
is Fox, right? Or am I?
Yes, it's owned by Rupert Murdoch.
Right. Okay. Gotcha. Mm-hmm. But I would always think of it as 6 p.m. on Channel 4. That's where I'm getting my Simpsons.
But Channel 4 is free.
Yes, Channel 4 is free. Mm-hmm.
Okay. I have lots of questions about this. I would like to ask you guys some things about this, just to help give me some context.
Mm-hmm. Please.
For what British people watch. Like, what are some other American shows that British people like from the past 40 years?
That's a great question.
I would say the other big one in my household was always Friends.
Friends, of course. Yeah, Friends was... yes, I would say that was second to The Simpsons. I was lucky to have like a cool older brother with good taste who introduced me to The Simpsons and Nintendo, and Futurama was big for us.
Yeah.
Malcolm in the Middle was also on Sky, and that was huge. And
let me ask you some. What did you guys
please.
Maybe? And this is maybe apply to people who are older than you. Seinfeld.
Oh,
I don't think I ever saw it on TV. No.
I don't think we got Seinfeld at all, which is crazy because I would have loved it had I seen it.
Cheers?
Yes, we did get Cheers, but that was on Paramount. So I watched a lot of comedy on Paramount on Sky, which was like Cheers, Frasier, Just Shoot Me, Mad About You, like all of those types of sitcoms.
Is that a more recent thing? Like, did people who were growing up in the 70s and 80s get to see American shows, or did they not see them? Like, I'm wondering if they got to see shows like MASH or Mary Tyler Moore, or even like, shows from like the Beverly Hillbillies, for example, or the shows, I heard that like no people in England have never heard of Andy Griffith, for example.
Yes, no, we haven't, for sure. Yeah. I think definitely less so. I would say probably The Simpsons was one of the like biggest like sort of breakthrough shows, right?
It's so interesting that Seinfeld. This is one of the things that I want to. Well, I'm not going to interrupt you guys,
no,
but
please.
It fascinates me what shows were popular overseas and which ones were not. And given the immense popularity of Seinfeld here, the fact that people in England never got to see it says something about the sense of humor that obviously if there was money to be made, they would have showed it in England. So there must have been people in England didn't like it for whatever reason. And and I've heard about that in Japan too. And some other places where people don't get that sense of humor. Anyway, go ahead. And then I'll come back to my other points about this.
No, it's a really interesting question. I can't believe I've never thought about it. I'm Googling quickly. Apparently they showed it late night on BBC Two. So that was definitely it. Like The Simpsons, 6:00 while we're all sitting down for our tea. It was like an institution. It was kind of immediately. But Seinfeld, yeah, we just didn't have the opportunity.
No,
I didn't know about it.
I remember it being sort of like homework when I was in my 20s. I was like, okay, I've heard a lot about Seinfeld. Why have I... Because with The Simpsons, it was just like one of those things that it was just like air.
Ubiquitous.
You just grew up with it and it was always on, and I could not possibly know what the first episode of The Simpsons was that I ever saw. Right. It was just always there, and also it's because we are, I guess we were babies and such.
Yeah, but like you have to imagine they don't make this was not the they didn't neglect to air Seinfeld because it was a mistake.
Yep.
They must have. It was a huge. Obviously, it was an enormous moneymaker in the U.S. and they must have tried, and people didn't like it. And that fascinates me because it's something about the sense of humor. And this is what I'm going to get to in a later part of this discussion, is the nature of the senses of humor. Like The Simpsons transcends that because it's a cartoon, and people who don't even speak English can enjoy the funny stuff, right? But like Seinfeld, for example, is a specific sense of humor, like as opposed to Friends, both of which were enormously successful at the same time. One, everybody seemed to embrace. One, it wasn't even popular enough for them to put it on prime time. So it's an interesting question that somebody should write a book about.
I have to wonder whether or not it has something to do with the fact that like Jerry Seinfeld was playing, a version of himself, and it's just like a known comedian, and the UK just having our own versions of like known comedians, as opposed to with something like The Simpsons, where it's just like, and even with Friends, right? It's because it's fictionalized and you're not necessarily focused on. Because the UK would have shows similar to that, right?
Yeah. I think it's interesting because I think the humor of Seinfeld, it was advanced in a way that the humor of The Simpsons was, in being better and more ironic and more, I would say just sort of complicated than, for example, something like Friends, which, to be fair, I did grow up watching, but like undeniably Seinfeld is much better. And people think of British humor as sometimes a little bit more ironic and complicated and less broad than American humor. So you'd think it would go completely, but I don't know if it was just too sort of, I don't know, like it's a bit of a, because it's a show about nothing. It's it's a bit, it's not exactly high concept, but it's sort of conceptless in a way that perhaps they thought, maybe they just didn't get it. Maybe honestly, just whoever was in charge of scheduling at the BBC too, on like, in the 90s was like, I don't know.
Quite possibly. I mean, that's what I was going to say about The Simpsons. The Simpsons is unique in many ways. But one of the things that the sense of humor is, The Simpsons seems to be extra super beloved by people in England, people in Canada, and people in Australia. I mean, that's the English-speaking world, so to speak. Yeah. However, the sense of humor, I think, is more in alignment with their sense of humor than the average Americans.
Yes.
And this is because I think this is another thing that somebody should write a book about. The writers of The Simpsons, for the most part, did not come from regular sitcoms. Yes. When Sam Simon was running it, at the beginning, most of the people he hired came from Saturday Night Live or Letterman or things like that. So these people had a late night sensibility, and The Simpsons brought that to prime time. And that also, but what was also a late night sensibility is also more Canadian, more British. It's meaner, it's more ironic, it's more clever. And the average American, I think the fact that it was animated was a cartoon about a family, made it palatable to the average American in a way that it wouldn't have been live action. Anyway, and I think but like I can certainly say that everything I have ever done seems to be far more popular with Canadians than with Americans. And I don't know why that is, but it has to do with that sense, something about the sense of humor.
Do you think there was in the writers' room a sense of just like this is the group of people who are also like invested in British comedy to a certain degree, right?
We were all very familiar with it for sure. I mean, like we all watched those shows, and we all liked things like Fawlty Towers and Monty Python, which I would say the average American would not like. I think if you were to have, I mean, obviously many millions of Americans loved Monty Python. However, I think if you were to take an average focus group of people walking on the street in Las Vegas and show them Monty Python, they would not get it, and they would say it was stupid, and they would get angry. And I think that's like, I think probably the same thing with Mr. Bean and some of those other shows, right? And Fawlty Towers. And I think that's, it can be, the people they can enjoy that if it's in a package that is an entertaining package, like a cartoon. Whatever, but if it's just like stand up, or if it's sketch comedy with guys wearing dresses like Monty Python, the average American, the average Jay Leno lover, would probably think it was stupid.
Right. Yeah, I read a little bit of Alan Siegel's book about the Simpsons.
I got off the phone with him right before this.
No way.
Yes.
I've been meaning to text him. What struck me was, I almost had this sense of like fear reading it, where I was like, we came so close to not having The Simpsons in so many ways. Like it seems like the version of it that existed is something of a miracle, that it was like allowed on TV and it continued to exist in the way that it did and became the thing that it became. It just seems so unlikely. Right?
For sure. There's so many elements of it that are preposterous. It was a desperate new network that didn't have anything to put on the air, somehow getting in the favor of the most famous director in Hollywood and offering him this insane deal where they couldn't give any notes on the show at all. And it being a cartoon for the first time since the Flintstones. And it's like, it's a series of miracles.
Yeah, for sure. I remember, like, as a kid, one of the things about The Simpsons that stood out to me the most were the jokes about the censors and about Fox and stuff like that. I remember thinking, I can't believe they're doing that. That's so funny. I'm not saying that, maybe I'm sure that stuff also was happening on the BBC, and, obviously British comedy can be like really, really subversive as well. But I remember just being sort of blown away that was like, not only allowed, but also allowed in like the biggest show, the thing that we all watched and were obsessed with and seemed to be kind of dominant. I remember thinking that was just kind of stunning at the time.
It took me a while to get, obviously, as a kid, because I was like, why are they talking about Fox? I'm watching this on Channel 4. Right.
Oh, that's a bloke that's in my garden, isn't it?
But I think it kind of can...
That's you, by the way.
Yeah, that's me. Fox is eating the chicken out of the trash bags, as they tended to do at my house. But no, I think one of the things about it for me that is the question I have about like the success of it, right, is how it became so popular for people in the UK, given the fact that so many of the references were stuff that I didn't understand or get, right?
Yeah.
And I was thinking about that, but I was also like, well, no, there's a lot of stuff I wouldn't have gotten because I wasn't immersed in American culture. But it was also like I was young enough that this was just my venue for learning what American culture was, right?
Yep.
I feel like I learned, and honestly, like learning about so much culture generally, I feel like there's so many like key reference points that I have for things that like I learned about the Red Room, right? Before I ever watched Twin Peaks, because there's this because of the scene.
Yeah, of course.
In Who Shot Mr. Burns, right? And there's so many like little moments like that where it's like, okay, yes, I don't understand this yet, but I sort of understand that this stuff is important, and I'm learning about what it is through watching it. So maybe that sort of helps to sort of curtail the fact that although there's a lot of stuff in there that we wouldn't understand, we're getting to understand it through the show. Does that ring true?
For sure. I think that's children. children don't mind stuff that they don't understand. I think they find it fascinating because I can say exactly the same thing happened to me, all the writers of The Simpsons, when we were reading Mad Magazine as kids. And half the stuff in there would be about stuff that you didn't have any idea about.
Spiro Agnew or whatever.
Yes, or whatever. Or the movies they were parodying that were movies that were rated R that you would never get to see and stuff like that. But yet you'd be interested because it's cool and interesting and it's presented in an entertaining format. And I think that same thing happened with The Simpsons. Now, it also has to be noted, adults didn't really watch The Simpsons that much when it was first on. That's the thing that people always forget. And it's because we were on... I'm not talking about season 1, 2, when the show was the number one show on TV, right? I'm talking about seasons 3 through 9. The show settled into a very comfortable niche at like number 58, right? We were always being beaten on Sunday nights, we were always beaten severely by Touched by an Angel and by Mad About You. And it's very irritating, which is very, very irritating. But we would have like most of the people under 18 be watching The Simpsons, and then some 18 to 34, and then nobody over 34 be watching The Simpsons. They all be watching Mad About You or Touched by an Angel, which had fantastic ratings. So it was very frustrating for us, but that's part of what allowed us to just say, "Fuck it, we're making this show for us." We're going to entertain ourselves, and it doesn't matter who's watching it because it's mainly kids and they don't know what's going on. So we're just going to entertain ourselves, and that's how these episodes came to be. Now, what's happened is this show has now been on for so long. What is it, 35 years? The kids who are watching it have now grown up, and so the culture that was infused in them through The Simpsons has become far more important than it originally was. And also now they're showing it to their kids now that it's on Disney Plus. And so it's I don't know, it's perpetuated itself in a way that only I think I can compare it to a Saturday Night Live, but Saturday Night Live reinvents itself every 4 or 5 years and The Simpsons doesn't.
Right. Yeah. No, I think I was thinking about The Simpsons recently because I was thinking about art and the fact that most art that is truly good and sort of original and transcendent is not popular and certainly not the most popular thing. And there are very rare occasions where something that is not the most popular thing breaks through and changes what is considered good. You know, like changes people's tastes around them. It's very hard to make, a creative product that is true to yourself and that you think is funny, but that also, when I think about the biggest podcasts, for example, I'm like, I cannot understand what people like about this. And I know that it is beloved by many, many millions of people, and I don't get it. And I'm thinking about The Simpsons is one of the most popular, to me, it seems like it was one of the most popular things. It's so culturally dominant. And yet it is good, and it feels like an exception to the rule. And I think it's one of those, like you were saying, one of those cases where through a bunch of sort of little miracles and chance, it was able to remake what was considered good around it rather than having to change what it would be in order to fit pre-existing ideas of what was funny. And thank fucking Christ, because that's like it's like 40% of my whole personality. So.
I mean, and that series of miracles continues on well past the point that from the creation of the show, like another miracle is that they didn't cancel us when we were number 58.
Yeah,
they didn't have anything else to put on their network, so they left us on there and for decades, right? Yeah. And then that's if The Simpsons could easily have been ended in 1998, and people would buy it on DVD or whatever, and they'd reminisce about it like they do about like The Kids in the Hall or something like that, perhaps. But the fact that it's still on is one of the other miracles.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think it's hard to overstate, like at least for me and my cohort, like how ubiquitous, not necessarily like my level of Simpsons fandom, but a level of cultural understanding where you know, if I make a reference to something from The Simpsons, most people I'm talking to will get it. You know, something from the classic years. I mean, and when I encounter someone who hasn't seen The Simpsons, I look at them like they got two heads.
It's weird, isn't it?
What do you
so
fucking
weird
mean?
to find people who don't, especially people who are about 40, who have never seen The Simpsons. It's hard to believe that anybody could, like, you have to make an effort, a real strong effort to avoid it.
Yeah.
Or like your parents needed to make an effort to not sort of put it on in front of you.
Yeah.
That's what I was
Yeah.
going to say, Charlotte, is like, I have encountered many more Americans who weren't allowed to watch The Simpsons. I'm sure that did happen in the UK, but I don't think it was anywhere near as common. This idea that like, well, Bart's a naughty boy and they're going to emulate Bart and be a naughty because they've seen him say, eat my shorts or whatever. That, I don't know if it's just like a cultural conservatism thing in the US, but I don't think that was as much of a thing in the UK. And when my friend Brendan James, he had never seen The Simpsons when we met when we were 23, and so I gave it to him on a hard drive. I was like, buddy, you got to check this shit out, because his mum wouldn't let him watch it. And it's fascinating to me how Brendan, I think, has an incredible sense of humor, very similar to mine, and yet never saw The Simpsons. But when he saw it at the age of 23, he was like instantly like, this is great. This is the best thing ever. And now can quote it as reliably as I can. So it definitely suffused the culture in a way where even if you didn't see it at the time, you probably still get it. But I've definitely shown it to people who didn't see it and they watch it as an adult. And perhaps it's the way that I'm staring at them like, yeah, but this bit's good, isn't it? Oh, but you got to see this bit. Oh, but
And she's always wearing the Marge Simpson t-shirt as well.
Yeah. I mean, I am specifically
on the back
thinking
it says,
of...
ask me about The Simpsons.
Yeah. I mean, look, I threw like a whole Simpsons themed party just because my friend had not seen The Simpsons, and I was like, I made the donuts, I printed out Duff beer labels and stuff, and then fucking, 7 37-year-olds were all sitting there staring at her while we were watching, what's the Home of the Heretic, for example, and just waiting for her to laugh when we were laughing. We were laughing before the jokes even happened because we remembered that they were coming on. So, yeah, it wasn't a good vibe for her.
Some people also just have bad senses of humor. I think everybody likes to think they have a good sense of humor, but they don't. Mm-hmm. Many people have bad sense of humor is somehow created through the stuff that you enjoyed as a kid and other people that you knew and stuff like that. And everyone has a different sense of humor, but some people just have a bad sense of humor. I know lots of people who've seen things that I consider to be hilarious, and they're like, that's stupid. They would say, or whatever.
Yeah.
I didn't get that. That's the dumbest thing I ever saw. Mm-hmm. And that, it's just like, okay, well, your sense of humor is broken. You never got one, or you have a bad sense of humor. It's like everybody thinks their sense of humor is the right one, but it's hard to make a value judgment. But some people actively have bad ones.
I thank you for saying that.
Agreed.
It's so true. It's so true. And it's funny. Like, Mystery Science Theater is another thing that I didn't see at all as a kid. That was something that Brendan introduced me to. And again, I was like, I didn't see this, but instantly I can kind of slot into the understanding of this. And honestly, again, they're making references all the time that I don't understand. And like I'm 7 watching The Simpsons, I'm like, they're referencing some, like football player from the 70s or whatever, and I'm like, Larry Zonkers. Yeah, that's funny.
Wow, what a reference that is.
Well, it's Mystery Science Theater, so
they talk about Larry Zonka on I haven't seen that Mystery Science Theater.
It's in Final Sacrifice. It's just like one of those running jokes that they won't let go of. It's so funny. Anyway,
that feels like it's been a consistent thing in my life now. Is like hearing Americans make references to things I don't get and still laughing at them. Just sort of,
for sure.
Just sort of understanding enough, like learning about that person just through that joke and just being like, well, that's all I need.
Well, this is something I wanted to address, is like, there is definitely a degree to which the America, like the sort of bottom layers of America that exists in my brain, let's say it's a cup that's been filled up from, whenever I was born, nobody knows. The bottom layers are definitely mostly Simpsons, in a way that I think, basically what I'm saying is it is partly the Simpsons' fault that I live here. Because I think I'm not saying that I thought that the whole country was like Springfield, but there is a degree to which my internal architecture of what America is kind of certainly influenced by The Simpsons, and that's a real treat. It's a really nice version to have, for sure. But yeah, absolutely, there were things that I didn't understand. The one that I always think about is the bit where Bart and Lisa are watching TV and it turns off and they go, "Dad, V-chip." And
see, that got dated real fast.
Yes.
I think I objected to that joke on that premise.
Oh,
because
really?
I didn't think the V-chip was going to be around for long, but whatever. But I think we always, as you probably know, we were trying to make the shows that would last for a long time. So even when we started, Mike Reese and Al Jean said, don't put in a lot of contemporary references because these shows are going to be airing 50 years from now. And they didn't know how right they were.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we would do it from time to time, but the V-chip was one that the V-chip didn't even really get, it barely even existed for a brief period of time. So that one for sure is a dated one.
Yeah, and it's funny because until I was about, 27, I thought they were saying Veej it, and I just never examined that isn't anything, because I watched it when I was, 6 or something, and I was like, yeah, Veej it, okay. And then I was talking to my Irish friend about it, and we both realized that we didn't know what it was, and so we, figured it out finally. But yeah, it's quite something.
For whatever reason, the one I always think about is I'm so hungry I could eat at Arby's. Because
oh my god, I hear about that one every 2 days.
Yeah, sorry. We told you this is what was going to happen.
Well, the main thing is that I since I do most of my work in the food universe these days, some of it in fast food, people are always bringing it up to me, and I didn't work on that episode, and I wouldn't have put that joke in had I done it, because I think Arby's is pretty good. But that's the most famous thing about Arby's now, and every single time it is constantly referred to in the context of anything having to do with Arby's all the time. But yeah, you're right. It is pretty funny. Mm-hmm. I will grant that to it. But yes, it is it's a mischaracterization of Arby's.
And it will forever be how I see Arby's, and there's nothing that can be done about that.
Poor Arby's. No, it's not fair to them.
Well, and you live in Canada, so it's not like you're going to go to Arby's.
No, but I still remember the first time I saw an Arby's in real life, my first trip to the US, and I was like, ooh, I'm not going. A friend of mine suggesting it. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
I've seen the episode of The Simpsons, man. I know not to touch it, so yeah.
No, it's good. It's good. It's good.
Bill, before we wrap up this part of the show, we should the Patreon episode that we're going to do this week is going to be about Lisa's wedding, because that's sort of the closest that we can get to the Simpsons going to England without us dipping out of the classic years, which I will never do. And I wanted to talk to you about that episode. You were writing on the show when that episode aired,
yes,
right?
although we didn't have much to do with that particular episode.
Right. It's an interesting one to me. Because it's not like the Bart versus Australia, where allegedly that caused some controversy with Australians. Although the Australians I know fucking love it. So
they did. Well, they didn't at the time. This is another thing you have to take back. They children in particular. I think we got lots and lots of letters, and obviously the people who loved it or kind of liked it didn't bother to send us letters.
Right.
We got lots of angry letters about it, especially mostly from kids who had been clearly forced to write these letters by their teachers, and so we assumed that they didn't like it. But now that they all grew up with it, that I hear about it all the time. And every time you see some photo of some sort of public gathering in Australia, they have those flags with the butt on them and stuff like that. So I'm thrilled. I want to go to Australia and now reap the rewards of this 30 years later.
Yeah, you must. Yeah, no, I still think one of the funniest jokes of the show is the Prime Minister being on the floating in the pond.
I don't even think that was our joke, but I sure do love it.
Yeah, it's really, really good. But yeah, no, I don't remember being like, maybe I wasn't old enough to be offended at all, but I don't remember ever being offended by I get me brain medicine from the National Health or any of that stuff, or Hugh crying when he sees the flag burning or whatever. To me that just,
if I wasn't going to get Charlotte, the fact that Austin Powers was making fun of me,
easily.
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry, Bill, go on.
That's okay. No, I was just going to say that I think it takes a grown up to get offended.
Yeah, I think so too. I remember being, if I was upset at a show when I was a kid, it was normally because it was cruelty to animals. That would really get me as a kid. Yeah. I wrote to the people that made Tomb Raider because I didn't like that you could kill tigers and lions in it. And so I also remember being upset at something in South Park, where they kill an animal or something. But I don't think I ever would have been offended because it was like, oh, but I'm British. Who gives a shit? I'm 6, so. Charlotte, do you want to rank The Simpsons?
Yeah, so this is what we always do. Is we rank our main topic on our usually British supermarket themed tier list, but it is America month, so Libby has concocted a new tier list of American supermarkets. If you guys don't like this, Libby came up with it. I had no involvement.
Okay.
I don't know the supermarkets in America, or at least not.
Oh,
most
this
of
is
them.
great. Okay. Wow. All right. So wait, by the way, just to call back to earlier, it was Tesco Express Covent Garden location where all that stuff happened.
Tesco
Tesco
Express.
Express.
Honestly,
That's where that earlier incident happened.
when I was in the UK, my aunt lives around the corner from a Tesco Express, as I think most people in London do. And just the feeling of just like popping into Tesco Express to get a Diet Coke and a bar of Cadbury's or something is so good. It's just,
Yeah.
I do
it's
love
wonderful.
it.
And I don't even like Tesco that much, but the Tesco Express just, it fills a need. But yeah, so we have a tier list of British supermarkets, and that's how we rank everything.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
With Waitrose at the top and all the way on down to Iceland.
Yes,
which
but
is
this
an
time
awful-
we have S tier, which is Whole Foods, A tier, which is Trader Joe's, B, which is Wegmans, C, Target, D, Safeway, E, Walmart, and F, Piggly Wiggly, which I'm still convinced that's the one that Libby made up.
No, that's all. I take some issue with these rankings, but it's okay. It's your show. Go ahead.
No, I would love
I
to.
wanna hear.
I'd love to hear.
I wanna know.
Yeah, because I did sort of pick a little bit arbitrarily, and Piggly Wiggly specifically. I was like, I don't really know what the worst grocery store is, but I do want to say Piggly Wiggly.
Not bad at all. It just happens to be in the South, and it has a funny name.
It does.
The Safeway, I think should be slightly higher. I think you have to have you don't have any Kroger locations in here. Kroger
No.
owns half the supermarkets in America, but they're under different names.
Right.
Like they're Ralph's in LA and they're Fred Meyer where I live.
Yes.
And so that should be there in somewhere. And then I've never been to Wegmans, so I can't rank that one.
Either, honestly, I just know people like it.
Okay. All right. Well,
With
good. All right. We don't have to go into specifics here.
No, I think about grocery stores a lot.
Me too.
Yeah,
We should talk about that on the next episode.
Absolutely, it's ever so fun. Safeway to me was kind of a stand-in for because I live in LA, and the nearest ones to me are like Albertsons and Vons, and then like there is Ralph's as well. But to me, those are all the sort of interchangeable level of like, well, this is not my preferred store, but I'll go there if I just need, flour and butter or whatever.
Well,
but anyway,
for the amount that you love Trader Joe's, I'm surprised that it is not S tier. But
well, I just kind of wanted to. Trader Joe's is my favorite grocery store, but I just kind of wanted to reflect the sort of poshness thing that we have with Waitrose and Marks and Spencer's at the top. Waitrose is the poshest. Whole Foods is not like as posh as it used to be, but I think I had to pick one, didn't I?
You had to pick something, and now you have to pick which tier you are going to put the Simpsons into, Libby. So what are you going to do?
What do you think?
I think it would be really funny if you said Wegmans.
I never would.
Oh my!
It's my favorite. It's my favorite TV show. I still watch it to this day. I love it so much. I'm grateful it exists, and a life-changing thing for me. It is in Whole Foods too.
I'm going to put it in Trader Joe's.
Shut the fuck up!
Not only am I going to put it in Trader Joe's, but I'm also not going to explain why, because I think it's important to sort of create some mystery between me and Libby, and make sure she never truly knows my mind. No, it's obviously Whole Foods. It is obviously going to be at the tippity top for me as well. Sort of similar to Libby, just sort of like foundational in terms of either what I think is funny or helping me sort of realize what is funny, if that makes sense. Just
Mm-hmm.
It helping me to realize my own sense of humor or help me to create it. One of the two, however that works. Bill, where would you like to put The Simpsons?
I guess I'll put it in Whole Foods too. Sure. I mean, I say The Simpsons is not. I haven't seen a lot. I haven't seen 3/4 of The Simpsons that were ever made.
Oh,
However,
us too.
but the ones I've seen, I would say, are in Whole Foods.
Yeah, I for ease, when I'm talking about The Simpsons, unless I specifically say the modern Simpsons, and the modern Simpsons is anything that came out after like 2002, I'm just talking about the classic years, and that's all I'll say about that. All right, we have time for just one more little thing, and it's my little game.
Libby's
Would you
little
like
game.
Would you like to play my Simpsons quiz that I've come
Alright.
up with? Now, this obviously is a bit funny to make a Simpsons writer do a Simpsons quiz and then pit Charlotte against the Simpsons writer. So what I've done...
No, it isn't. I went to the... there's some many Simpsons trivia nights around this country. And I've been to a number of them. And within only one time I played, I came in 10th.
That kind of, knowing what I know about Simpsons fans, that kind of doesn't surprise me.
Right.
It's a lot of, boy, I hope somebody got fired for that blunder type guys.
Yeah.
All right, let's start with, how many times will The Simpsons air this week on Channel 4 and E4, which are, sort of similar, they're like the same thing, in the UK? Charlotte, you can start, and this is just be whoever's closest wins.
Okay. All right. Well, I mean, but the question now is it not still on Sky, right? Would it not still be on
It's
Sky?
on. I'll tell you, it's on Sky too, but it also airs.
It
on
still
Channel
airs
4
on
and E4.
on
So
Channel 4 and
I
on
counted
E4
up
as
the
well?
Channel 4 and E4 ones, not
in
Sky.
a week. I'm going to go with 4. I'm going to say, I feel like even saying 14 feels conservative to me.
Okay.
So that's what I'm going to go with. Bill?
Bill?
I'm going to say 21.
It is 73.
Oh
So
my
Bill gets
gosh.
that one. Isn't that utterly insane?
Holy shit.
Yeah, I mean, some of that is like they'll show the same episodes in the same week, so I'm not counting individual episodes, but
Right.
there are 73 half-hour time slots of The Simpsons.
Is there anything else on
Wow.
E4?
I guess, yeah, maybe like skins repeats or
Mhm.
something.
Right.
And shout out to simpsonsarchive.com for collating that wonderful information that
Wow.
is up to date as of this week, which is crazy. Okay. What is my favorite Simpsons episode?
Okay, I think Bill, you have to go first here.
Yeah, Bill has to go first here. And take a guess.
I'm going to say Homer the Heretic, since it's the one that you mentioned.
Oh, bit of metagaming. Charlotte?
That is smart, but I do know my friend Libby, and it is Marge versus the Monorail.
Charlotte, you are such a good friend. It is Marge versus the Monorail. It's so good. All right, next question. What is the first Simpsons episode that I ever saw? And it did make me laugh, Charlotte, when you were like, I could possibly remember the first Simpsons episode I ever saw, because I remember it very, very clearly.
Yeah, no, I truly have no idea. What is the episode where the church, the heating is broken in the church?
That's Homer the Heretic.
That is Homer the Heretic. That is the one. I couldn't remember the name of it, but last time I watched that, I was like, oh, it's like I'm going to like a gig of a band that I've heard the songs of like over and over
Yeah.
again. It didn't read as jokes. It's just sort of read as the thing I know every single word.
You know it off
of.
by heart.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah. I had that one on VHS. I had in the UK
Yeah, I think I
at
did
least.
too.
They released like themed VHSs. They had ones that was all like about religion, and then they had one that was all like love themed episodes and stuff. So the ones that were on those VHSs, I have seen the most.
I think it is also Marge versus the Monorail.
You think it's Marge versus the Monorail? Okay, Bill,
I'm going to say it's Bart the Genius.
Charlotte, you're so smart. It's Marge versus the
God.
Monorail. I
Ah.
remember. I
Wow.
was.
Why did I go for that deep cut? I don't know.
I would
It was
say
the first episode of season 2. That's why I thought perhaps there was some logic to it.
Yeah, no, that does make sense. I think I was born just before season 2 started airing, I want to say. I remember being at my dad's house and this being on the TV, and I think I would have been 4. And I remember, maybe I'm putting this, like retroactively imagining this, but I remember being like, this show's really good. All right, next up. Which of these Simpsons sound clips did I use for an MSN Messenger alert in 2005? So we're going to hear 3 clips from The Simpsons.
Mm-hmm.
You guys are going to guess which one I used to denote when my best friends came online.
Okay.
I call the big one Bitey.
You could hear that?
Yes, can you hear that?
That was I Call the Big One Bitey.
Mm-hmm.
What? It's gotta be about pizza.
Oh, Wiggum is a great example of a character I didn't understand as a kid. I didn't know until about 5 years ago that he's meant to be like Edward G. Robinson. I had no idea. I was just like, funny policeman. Okay, and the next one.
Hey, homie, I can see your doodle.
Ooh. Who's going first, Libby?
I think it's Bill.
I'm going to say it's that Wiggum one because there's no other reason for it to be in this list. Those other two are pretty famous quotes.
Unless it's just a bit that Libby happens to really like, but then if she does, then that would make sense that she would use it for MSN. Okay, for balance, I think it could be the last one, so that's what I'm going to go with.
You're going to say, "Hey, homie, I can see you do."
Yes, exactly.
No, Bill is right. It was what? This better be about pizza. And I still to this day when I hear it, it sounds different because I heard it so many times as the MSN messenger. My friend's coming on. I don't even know where I got that like MP3. I wasn't ripping it from the episode itself with that technology in those days. Okay, one of these Simpsons references from Parliament is fake. The other two are real. Which is fake? So I'm going to read you some quotes that were said in Parliament, except one of them I made up.
Okay.
Now, but the other two are real quotes from the Hansard said in the House of Commons.
Okay, wow.
The proposed Welsh Assembly will be a home for the old dinosaurs of the Labour Party, rewards for their records of non-achievement. They are just like the Simpsons on Channel 4, underachievers and proud of it. Next one. The Prime Minister's absurd new school lunch standards, which force schools to serve at least 2 vegetables regardless of the meal offered, are the latest example of this government's love affair with the nanny state. They would do well to learn from Homer Simpson, who said, "You don't win friends with salad." And number 3.
I can just hear Parliament going, bloody
right. It seems to me that the Liberal Democrats really are taking to heart the words of Homer Simpson when he said, "Weaseling out of things is important to learn. It's what separates us from the animals, except the weasel." I know that the honourable member for Bristol West is not a weasel. Charlotte, which one do you think was made up?
Oh, I mean, you've done a good job. It is really hard for me to tell which one of these is made up. I'm going with the last one. Something about mentioning Bristol West feels, I don't know what it is. Feels like Libby to me, but we'll find out.
Libby loves Bristol West. Bill, which one do you think I made up?
I think the middle one is the made up one.
Bill, you've absolutely nailed it. I did make that one up.
Hooray!
You don't win friends with salad.
You don't win friends with salad.
Okay. Which of these words used in The Simpsons were censored on British television? Now we've got bastard, wanker, royal, and bloody. And again, there are fantastic websites that catalog every single time that something that from the American edition of The Simpsons was cut out when it was aired on British television. And thank God for those nerds, because I loved reading all of those. And they have the reasons and stuff. It was great. Bill?
I think it's wanker, because I somehow learned that that's far more offensive in Britain than it is in America.
Because of that clip of Alexi Lalas saying full kit wanker, right?
Yeah, right. Yes, that's part of that's part of it, I think.
Yeah, someone they wanted us to talk about it on the show, but I was like, it's going to be too old by the time this comes out. But yeah, I thought that clip was really funny because I was like, it is offensive. It's not that offensive. But the way everyone else... Did you see this clip, Charlotte?
No,
Thierry
I haven't
Henry,
seen it, no.
Everyone else on the World Cup panel going, ooh, when Alexi Lalas calls someone a full kit wanker. So funny. Anyway, Charlotte, which of these words?
I guess. And it could be multiples? Or just one?
I'm not saying.
You're not saying? You're not saying
I'm not saying
how the question works?
No. All the information's on the task.
Oh, shut up. Okay. I think it is wanker, but then also I'm just going to say bloody as well. I think it's both of them.
Trick question. It was all of them.
It was all of them.
Wow. I was way off the mark.
The royal one was fascinating. There were, after Princess Diana died, there were references to, there's a bit where Quimby says, you screwed up royal, and they cut royal in case people were offended by thinking about the royals.
You screwed up, royal.
Yeah, exactly. By dying, I guess. Like a really, really strange decision there. Okay. How many pieces is the last question? How many pieces of physical Simpsons media, merch, art, and other paraphernalia do I own? Closest wins. Charlotte?
Ooh, okay.
And I did go around my house counting.
Yeah, so what can I remember that Libby has? There's probably something on your desk that I've forgotten about. Obviously, you've got the penis pump up there.
Okay, well, you didn't need to say that.
I'm just going through the sort of mental sort of.
I won that actually on a game show. Okay.
Obviously, you got the penis pump that you won there, and all of your other sex toys, which I'm remembering. You keep right behind the monitor as well. You do have those lovely prints of like locations from The Simpsons on your wall. I remember that, and I know that is not the only Simpsons T-shirt you have too. Right, because I'm thinking about the "I am the Lizard Queen" T-shirt, which I believe is.
I think you're thinking. Although that would go really high. I think you're thinking of my Bone Storm shirt.
Your Bone Storm shirt. You do have well then I think it's at least 3 T-shirts. Let's go with. I'm gonna go 10. Let's go 10.
Bill, you want to take a guess?
I'm gonna say 17.
Bill is closer. It is 24. I have 9 DVD sets, 4 T-shirts, 1 sweatshirt, 4 books, 2 hats, 1 art print, 1 bottle opener, 1 Duff beer glass, and 1 Bart figurine set. That one is some art that my friend got me, but
sure.
And I may have miscounted, but that's about right. And I think Bill would be right either way.
Yeah.
So Bill wins. Shockingly, Bill wins the Simpsons quiz.
Right, but
that is rather shocking.
It was a Libby quiz.
It was a lot of Libby quiz. Yes, I tried to make it possible, Charlotte, for you to win.
Thank you. Well, no, that was a lot of fun, Libby. Thank you for your little game. I was thinking about stuff that got cut out in the UK version. What was it? And then the one thing I guess the UK got that North America didn't is Bart's penis.
We did?
In the movie?
In the movie.
Yeah. We got that in the theater here.
You got it in the theater? Because my memory was that in the theater, it was censored and said only available in Europe.
I don't recall.
You don't recall
honestly,
that?
But I could have sworn we saw it.
I just remember that being a big talking point at the time. Is that
it seems like the kind of thing that we would have said to each other at school as a bit of, because at the time it was a very anti-American atmosphere in the UK.
Yes,
so
absolutely.
We probably would have said something like that to each other. Yeah.
Well, this has been so much fun. Thank you, thank you, Bill, for indulging Libby in her favorite thing in the entire world.
This is like my Make-A-Wish thing.
Yes.
So thank you.
Well, it's been my pleasure to participate in it.
Thank you for having so many questions of your own about our relationship with The Simpsons. Do you want to take a moment to tell people where they can go and find you these days?
Yes, if you want to indulge in any of my food stuff, including the events I do all over the country. I do about 30 of them a year, different cities. Go to BillOakley.com. You can be informed by everything, or follow me on Instagram or both. That Bill Oakley on Instagram, BillOakley.com. I also have just released, after 4 years, the sequel to my best-selling audiobook, Space 1969. The sequel is Space 1972, starring Natasha Lyonne. It is available only on Audible.com. I highly recommend you get the first one and then get the second one as well. Anyway, that's it. Thank you very much. I will see you online.
Thank you so much.
We'll see you then. And just to round us off, obviously, if you want to follow us, we're at What's All This Pod on Blue Sky, Instagram, and on YouTube as well, if you want to see video episodes. So if you want to see our bonus episodes, those are over on our Patreon every Thursday, patreon.com/What's All This Then. As a reminder, for America Month, we're doing over on the Patreon an American sitcom in London, where we're talking about American sitcoms and the times they went to the UK. And we will, of course, be talking about The Simpsons later this week. So do come and join us for that with the wonderful Matt Apodaca. It's going to be very lovely. And if you want to get in touch, it's whatsallthispost@gmail.com. Send us a message. That would be lovely. All right, that's the show. Thanks again, Bill, for coming on. It's been so nice.
Bye-bye.
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 Bye-bye now.